Page 91, Marionette's Funeral March. This is a fun piece to play. I mean, physically play the fingers. I just really get a kick out of this. Got a lot of staccato going on in both hands. It's just fun to play for me. I enjoy it very much. 6/8 time. Oh boy. Let's talk about some tricky spots for you. I suppose it's all tricky, but I'm on only the trickiest parts. Okay, starting again with the right hand. Second line, last measure. You got those 6/8 notes coming down. From the previous measure, you have an E, D. Then in this measure, you have a C sharp, B flat. Remember, there's a flat in the signature. And then cross over the thumb to get the G. Right? It's not exactly a D minor scale fingering. It's more like an E minor scale fingering, sort of. But it's not important. You should be able to cross the thumb over anytime it's needed. So here. And those are staccato, and we use finger staccato on this. Just bump, 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 bump. Have fun with it. In the last line, next to the last measure, right hand, you're crossing over the thumb to get the C sharp. It's fine. It's a way of changing hand positions. You're in this position, and you're simply crossing over to be in this position. Sort of. And that's how we do it. That's very common. In the left hand, again, mostly staccato. Second line, those are not staccato. Well, the first note is, but the others are not. Connect them. They're each one with the third finger. This is another sequence. I speak of sequences in some of it's where you have a pattern of notes going up or down the keyboard. The pattern repeats up or down. You got these two notes like that. That's a sequence. So we're going to use the same fingering, more or less. The last one, they don't on the last one, and in my mind, you could easily do it with the third finger, but let's talk about it. In the first measure, C sharp is with the third to the D, and then the E is with the third to the F, and then the G sharp, they're saying second. In my mind, it should be continue with the third. Keep that same fingering going. They're probably saying second to one, so you're in position for the next line. But you're moving your hands around so much now, I don't see any point in that. So I would do 3/2 on all three of those. That's how I'd do it, but you do what you want. And the last measure at the bottom there in the left hand, you have an AG and then a DF natural, right? You want to connect them, and I like their fingering. They're using a 3/2 on that last one. So you're going here to here. It's a little awkward when you're not used to it, but you're going to run into it quite a bit, so I suggest you consider getting used to it. You got to be able to go back and forth. You got to rock your wrist to do that, but don't use your fingers and try and do it. Yuck. I'm transferring the weight from these fingers to these fingers, and I'm using the wrist up and down to help me do that. There's an 8th note at the end, all right? Don't play during that 8th note. I don't like using the same finger on repeated notes, but I don't have to. It's at the beginning. It kind of bothers me a little to be playing both of those D's in the right hand with the same finger. My tendency would be to play the first D like with a thumb, and then use the third finger. Just so I'm not using the same finger. It's up to you whether you do or not, but just something to think about. So having said all that, you got the phrasing, you can do that. You separate the phrasing, you bring out the melody, which is in the right hand, blah, blah, you got the fingering. You've learned this now. We're ready to test it out. It is in D minor, of course it says it is. D minor has one flat, just like F major. That's fine. So let's try it. So the right hand is here. Left hand is here. No pedal, because we want to hear the staccato. Going to give you 6 counts because it's in 6/8 time. Metronome's on 70, which is really slow for this, but we'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. 1, 2, 2, 6, 2, 2, 2.